While you're dialing, let's talk about Just Stop Oil. I don't know about you, but it feels that the protest group has been around a lot longer than 3 years, but I believe that's the length of time they've been in existence, defacing Vincent van Gogh's sunflowers, throwing soup at the painting, climbing onto M25 structures and paying a very, very heavy penalty in prison for that action. They told us a while ago that Just Stop Oil was planning to wind down, hang up the high-vis. They're planning to go out with one final protest today. I believe a number of the group are going to be descending in a blaze of orange high-vis. And is that going to be the end of it? Is that going to be the end of fossil fuel protests? I suspect not, as it's already been suggested that Just Stop Oil may be superseded by Youth Demand, a militant setup that may start taking action this summer. I'm joined by Mitch Rose, spokesperson for Just Stop Oil. Good morning to you, Mitch.
Morning, Matthew. Thank you for having me on the programme.
Thank you for joining us. What are your feelings today as Just Stop Oil sort of winds down?
Well, look, as you rightly said in your introduction, Just Stop Oil was always a limited campaign, and 3 years brings us to the end of that campaign. And most importantly, our main demand, which was Just Stop Oil, is now government policy. So it just shows what a small group of dedicated people can achieve, and it's proof actually that civil resistance works.
I have to say, when Extinction Rebellion, it must have been this time last year, actually, we had a discussion about direct action and whether or not the public had sort of had a gutful of it, and they were planning to a peaceful protest around this time last year. It was end of April, and they were going to ring Parliament and just hold hands around Parliament, which they duly did. And I think they made an excellent point by doing that, because ringing Parliament got them almost no press attention whatsoever, whereas stopping London, gathered the headlines that activists would be after.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. I mean, there was also that the big was it the March for Nature that Chris Packham led, 60,000 people or something, virtually no press coverage. So it just shows, doesn't it, that you have to get out there, you have to do things that get you the attention. And look, the success of it is quite incredible. The Just Stop Oil campaign, keeping oil in the ground, apparently 4 billion barrels of oil have been kept in the ground because of what we did. That's half a barrel per person on the planet. I think the other thing that we've done is we've shone the light on other things like government corruption and court corruption. As you know, plenty of Just Stop Oil supporters are still going through the court system. I believe we've had 3,000 arrests and 180 prison sentences, and still more to come. Just a huge drain on everything, really. And what we asked for is now government policy, and I think and excuse me for saying this, but had news platforms and media outlets got behind us at the beginning instead of vilifying us, actually what we achieved could have been done a hell of a lot quicker, and we could have saved all those court appearances and all those people going to prison.
Fair point. What about this new group, Youth Demand? I can imagine a number of listeners will be thinking, oh no, not more protests.
Well, yeah, Youth Demand are part of, if you like, the umbrella of civil resistance at the moment. So Youth Demand is in there. Assemble is another one. But at Just Stop Oil, okay, we've stopped the campaign as is, but we've gone away to, not gone away, we are reflecting and taking stock of what we've achieved. So we're going to take time out to celebrate that today. That's what, if people want to come to London and join us, St James's Square, get there now. People are starting to turn up. So after we've done a bit of reflection, we are going to regroup, and we will be back. We don't know what the new name is just yet, but it will be based on civil resistance. You're bound to hear about us when we're ready. We are going to be back because there is still a lot of work to be done. I was listening to your previous interviews and people's mental health, and people are really, really concerned about climate breakdown and the collapse of our wildlife and nature systems. And actually polls show that there's a silent majority, and that's key. There are a majority who are feeling anxious and alone, and the feeling that nobody else feels the same about what's happening to our climate and our nature and our wildlife. And so we'd like to invite them to the next part, whatever the new, setup is. We like to invite them to come out and join us because, we've shown that when groups of people are dedicated to making change and they come together, they can do that. So, come out,
Mitch
come and
Rose,
join us.
Mitch Rose, pleasure talking to you. Thanks very much for giving up your time. Mitch Rose there, spokesperson for Just Stop Oil. You're listening to me, Matthew Wright, here with your Saturday breakfast at LBC.